Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I built the most complete lead generation chatbot that I've built so far. And with this chatbot you are going to be able to qualify leads through a quiz, reply FAQ, and also to show dynamic carousels and embed YouTube, Loom videos, and even your Calendly link. And the best of it is that everything happens inside your chatbot, so the customer or website visitor doesn't have to go away of it. So if this sounds good to you, stay till the end because I'm going to explain everything that I did, and also I'm going to share with you in a link in the description a template so you can start building your own lead generation chatbot, skipping all the development parts so you can easily build from the template. And for those that are new to the channel, my name is Borja Payasaga, and in this channel I'm documenting my journey through building an automation agency from the ground, sharing all the knowledge, insights, and tips that actually help me to build my automation agency. As you can see here, we have the FAQ section, then here we have the dynamic carousels, and then here we have the quiz and lead qualification system. And if you're wondering how to embed Calendly, YouTube videos, and Loom videos, we're using a tool called Voiceglow that is basically a skin built on top of Voiceflow, where we can embed videos, upload files, etc. And we can also completely personalize the look of our chatbot. So the backend is built on Voiceflow, but it looks completely different. Now, as you can see, this is a structure of how the chatbot is built, okay? And as you can see here, basically it starts when a lead comes from Instagram or TikTok, okay? So the first 4 options that they are going to have is basically to apply to work with me, to see the portfolio, to see more information about our services, and also to request a collaboration or to do any other type of request. I'm going to quickly explain what is the info path and also the collaboration and other path. And then I'm going to go more in detail to the path of apply to work with me and the portfolio, because actually this is where all the complexity is happening. So once the visitor gives us the name and the email, we're going to be offering different options. One of the options is going to be the information path. And basically here we're going to be offering information about all the different services that we offer. And how we are doing it here is that basically from any of these information blocks, we're going to be able to access to all the others. So basically they are going to be looping through all the different information blocks, so at the end they have all the information that they actually need in order to book a call and apply to work with me, that they can do it straight away from here. And then what happens with the collaboration and other blocks is that basically we're going to capture the email and also capture the proposal, and also we're going to include this collaboration in an Airtable database so we can keep track of all the collaboration and other requests that we have. And now I'm going to explain what actually makes differential to this chatbot, okay? So basically when the person goes into the chatbot, they are going to have different options, as I said. And one of the main options is basically the portfolio, because this way we're going to be able to show dynamically, only doing one API call and only building 3 carousel blocks in order to show all the different projects. And the beauty of this is that we can actually apply this to real estate, to car dealerships, to e-commerce brands. We can actually apply this to many other areas. So as you can see here, once we go into the portfolio, we're going to be offering 4 or 5 different areas, okay? In my case, the different areas are marketing and social, business operations, customer support, top projects, and others, okay? So let's say that I go into marketing and social. What I'm going to be doing is basically show the first 3 projects that are going to be randomly picked from our Airtable database. And then every project is going to have different functions, okay? We're going to have the function of seeing a project explanation where we're going to embed a YouTube or Loom video. We're also going to have the possibility of seeing more Area 1 projects, so in this case marketing and social projects. We're also going to have the possibility of seeing all the projects, so the website visitor or customer is going back to the main portfolio area and then is going to be able to pick different areas, okay? And from any of these projects, whenever they've seen enough of the videos, enough of the explanations, they are going to be able to apply to work with me and they are going to be able to do the quiz, okay? But anyway, let's continue with the portfolio quickly and then let's go into the work with me. So what is going to happen here is that if the person selects see more Area 1 projects, what we're going to do is basically ditch these 3 projects and we're not going to show these 3 projects anymore. And then we're going to have our pool of projects that is going to be basically a database in Airtable that is going to have all the different projects with all the titles, all the descriptions, all the YouTube links, and basically all the information that we need in order to replace these projects. So every time that we click in see more Area 1 projects, what is going to happen is that we ditch the previous 3 and we put them together with the ones that we ditched before, and we select new projects from this project pool that we actually have here. And if you're wondering, the projects from area 1, area 2, area 3, area 4, area 5 doesn't mix between each other because they are actually stored in different databases. I'm going to explain it later on in the video. And now let's go with the quiz part. So once we go into the chatbot, as I said, there is going to be different options. As if we select apply to work with me or work with me path, and what is going to happen is that here, before the questions, the quiz question, we're going to collect some basic information like the industry, like the role of the person, and the name of the company. What we're going to do is to structure the quiz that with a total of 80 points, we are going to be assigning different points for all the different answers that the website visitor actually give to us. Okay, so we're going to ask 4 main questions here. The first one is going to be if they actually have a pain and a problem that they actually want to solve as fast as possible. Then in the second question, we're going to be asking something in order to see what those persons have been trying to do in the past in order to solve that pain. And what we try to do with this is basically differentiate the persons that are action takers from the persons that are not action takers. Because if a person is an action taker and actually have tried to do many other things in the past, then it's going to be more easy to convince that person about the value of our proposal. And then the last 2 questions are basically about the company size and about the approximately budget. And none of these questions actually eliminate any prospect, okay? But these questions actually help the prospects that maybe doesn't have like a clear pain, or maybe they didn't try so many options in order to solve that pain. So what is going to happen here is that if they have less than 40 points, that as I said to you before is half of the 80 total points, we're going to send a lead magnet using the information that we capture here, like the role, the industry, and we are going to create a personalized lead magnet for them so they have value and they are happy even they don't qualify to work with us. And also we're going to offer consultancies and done with you services that in this case is what is going to help them the most. And then if they actually qualify and they have more than 40 points, we're actually going to show the Calendly link that is going to show straightforward from the chat assistant. So now that we've seen a structure of how the chatbot is built in the backend, I'm going to show you all the logic and all the development and coding things that I wish that I knew when I was building this chatbot. And actually, I also said previously that we use Voiceglow in order to build this chatbot. So the first thing that we actually need is to go to voiceflow.org, download the template, and then import that template into our Voiceflow assistant. And this is going to help us to build these custom action blocks, like the embed website, upload documents, and also embed YouTube or Loom videos into our assistant. The first thing that we need to do here is to go to Voiceflow, and once we are in the main dashboard, we're going to import the file that we previously downloaded from Voiceglow. Okay, I'm going to leave all the links in the description, so don't worry, you're going to have everything. And then once we import the Voiceglow file, we're going to see a blank designer, and the only difference is that we are going to have these custom blocks and this custom library in this library block. Okay, so we're going to have a file upload action block, we're going to have an iframe, or we're going to have a website embed. An iframe is basically a YouTube or Loom video, and a website embed can be like literally any website. It can be Calendly, the website of your agency, or literally anything. Now I'm going to be explaining how we created the dynamic carousels with the API block, with the logic, and also with some custom JavaScript, okay? But don't worry about this if this sounds complicated, because I'm going to be sharing in the description with you a link with all these blocks, because this actually requires development knowledge, and this might be a bit complicated if you don't have that background. Okay, so let's start first with the API call. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do here is to set these parameters. Okay, basically it's going to be called init params, and we are going to apply it to Airtable params. Okay, why is this important? Because if we don't set up here, whenever we do another loop through the API block, we are not going to change these variables. So we need to set them first in blank. That is basically like quotation marks, and that's basically it. And now I'm going to show how we did the API block. So basically here we have like the endpoint URL from Airtable in order to do a GET request, okay? So as you see, this is fixed. This is the endpoint URL that we have from Airtable. And then this variable, basically we set this before here. So each area, top projects, marketing and social, customer support, business operation is a different table in Airtable, okay? So basically we have the specific URL that we actually want. Okay, so now let's go with the API block, and as you can see here, this is the endpoint URL of Airtable, the GET request, and here this is a dynamic value that basically we set previously here. So every area is a different table, and we have different URLs for the different tables. So we don't have to be writing like multiple URLs, and we don't have to be writing multiple API blocks, okay? And this is very important because the page size is the amount of records that we are going to pull each time that we loop through the API block. Okay, so if in the carousels you want to show 5 records, you should set up here 5 instead of 3, and if you want to show only 2, you should set up here 2 instead of 3. And then here we're going to set the Airtable parameters that we set previously here. Okay. Then another important thing is that we are going to capture the response, and basically we are going to capture response and response.offset. Airtable response is basically the whole response of Airtable, and then response offset, what it's going to say to us is the number of loops that we did so far. And then here we're going to use a set variable block, so we're going to apply it to Airtable records, and this is going to be called Airtable response.records. Okay, and now the logic is actually one of the most important parts of the system, because this is going to say to Voiceflow to go in one path or another. For example, if there is more than 3 records, we are going to go to the carousel that have 3 blocks. If we only have 2 records to display, we're going to go to the 2 card carousel, and if we have only 1 record to display, we're going to go to the 1 card carousel. Okay. And then last, we're going to set a JavaScript block that I'm going to show to you here, and I'm going to leave this in the description, and basically you can copy paste it and you can implement it yourself, because I know that it can be confusing. Okay? Then obviously, depending on the amount of records that we're going to be pulling each time from Airtable, we're going to be sending Voiceflow to the 3 card carousel, 2 card carousel, or 1 card carousel. Okay. And then I'm going to go here because this is super important as well. The first thing that we need to do previously than any type of carousel is to set the variables. Okay, and here there is different steps. The first one is to set this variable, set carocard1, because this variable, I know this may be a bit confusing, but this variable is the variable that we are going to use then, because this variable carocard 1, 2, 3, whatever, is the variable that then we are going to use in order to map the title, the description, the image URL, and the explanation. Okay, so as you can see here in carousel title, we have carocard1.fields.project, and it means that we are using this variable because this way is the only way that we have to extract that key information that we actually want and display it in a carousel. Okay, so we actually need to set this variable first, and then with this variable that we set up here, we are going to set the different cards, because we are going to extract that information by setting up those variables. Then for the description, as you can see here, carocard1 field description. Then for the image URL, it's slightly different, carofields.thumbnail. Then for the image URL is slightly different, carocard1.fields.thumbnail. And basically all these text that you see through here, but don't worry, I'm going to share this with you. But yeah, this is basically the logic that is behind. First, we need to set the variable carocard that is going to put together all the different information that we need to extract from one specific record. And then with that carocard variable that is going to be a specific record, we're going to extract the information that we actually want, like the thumbnail, the description, the title, but using that variable in the other set variable blocks. Okay, in this case, carocard1.fields.thumbnail, thumbnail is large, URL. Okay, so as you can see, this is very, very important. And then once we are in the carousel, here we just need to map the different variables. So in this case, it's going to be carousel, image URL, carousel title, carousel description, and then here in the carousel 2 title, we're going to have carousel 2 image URL, carousel 2 title, carousel 2 description. That, as you can see here, carousel 2 title is basically carocard2.fields.project. That is the variable that we set up previously here. Okay, so this is a tricky one, but actually this is like what actually makes possible this system to work. And now I'm going to show how to embed YouTube and Loom videos and then Calendly links. Okay, so as you remember, we downloaded previously our file from voiceglow.org and we imported it into Voiceflow. Okay, so whenever we want to include a block that actually embeds a video or embeds a website, we just need to go to library and drag and drop it here. And then here in action body, basically write our URL. So it's going to be as optimal path.AI. And there is one thing that this doesn't work in Voiceflow, but then once you import your project into Voiceglow, it works perfectly, so don't worry about that. And this can actually be a variable as well. So that's how we actually achieved this thing, because this is a variable. So basically each record in our Airtable database have assigned a different variable, and we can actually extract the relevant video from each record. Okay, then for the YouTube and Loom video, it's actually the same. We just need to go to the library and basically select the iframe and drop it into our designer. Okay, so once we are here, we just need to do exactly the same. Go to action body, and we actually have to select here the embed URL. And actually this is important because it's not the same the video URL than the embed URL, and we need the embed URL. I'm going to show a video about how to do it with YouTube and how to do it with Loom. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now let's go to the part of the quiz that for me is one of the parts that actually provides the biggest value in this specific chatbot. Okay, so as I explained previously, here we're going to be gathering some information about the industry, about the company, about the role of the person in the company, and here we're going to be asking some specific questions that we are going to be using in order to qualify the prospects or not, because we are going to assign the different points for them. Okay, so the only complex thing here is that every different answer, have to assign different points. So in this case, this yes assigns 20 points, this more or less assigns 10 points, and this I'm just exploring assigns 0. And how we are going to assign these different points? So very easy. We're going to create a JavaScript block, and basically in this JavaScript block, we're going to set this function, points equal number points plus 20. So whenever someone clicks on yes, we're going to go to this block here, we're going to add 20 units to the variable points, and then we're going to go to this next block, okay, because as you can see here, this is linked. So here we're going to capture some extra information that we are going to use for internal purposes, and then here we're going to be going to the next block that in this case is going to be the degree of pain, and here we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to set different buttons, and each different button is going to have different points. So in this case, try many things is going to assign 20 points, only thought is going to assign 10 points, and not yet, not an action taker, is going to assign 0 points, because we are going to go to the next question. So as you can see here, at 20 points Q2 is going to redirect here, at 20 points, and at 10 points Q2 is going to redirect here, but the only difference is that instead of 20 is going to have 10. Okay, so here we're going to continue with the company size. We're going to do exactly the same process, and here also we are going to set a variable, because then this variable is going to be sent to our database so we actually can collect this information, and we are going to do exactly the same process. It's just me. We are going to assign 5 points, 2 to 5 employees, we are going to assign 10 points, 6 to 20 employees, we are going to assign 15 points, and plus than 20 employees, we are going to assign 20 points. So now, again, we go to the JavaScript code, and then once we are here, we are going to go to the last question, that in this case is going to be the budget. So if the last question, if the budget is going to be less than 1K, we are going to assign another variable that we are going to capture as well in our Airtable database, and we're going to assign 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30 points, depending on the answers that the prospect actually gives, okay? So what happens now, if the prospect actually qualifies now, we are going to go to the qualify post request, and we're going to be sending this information to our Airtable database. So whenever they book the meeting with Calendly, we're going to be able to map that information, and we're going to be able to pull the Zoom meeting into our Airtable database, and we're going to make sure that that person is tracked in our Airtable database. So as you can see here, we use another custom action block, that in this case a website embedded, and here basically we added like some text before, and then here we're going to show our Calendly link, and here as you see this is a text block, but here we're going to select another custom action block that is going to be a website embed. Not going to do it because it's done already, and here in action body we're going to write the link that we actually want to include. This can be a variable as well, in case that you have multiple ANs or that you have multiple links for different stuff. This can be a variable as well. So in this case I didn't set up as a variable, but this can be a variable like we did here in the explanation block. Then if the person doesn't qualify, basically we're going to offer another type of services, and basically we are going to offer like consultancy services and done with you services, and basically we're going to follow exactly the same process. We're going to send a post request to Airtable, we're going to send the information, and then whenever we offer the consultancy and the done with you services and they click in yes, tell me more, we're going to receive that information, so then we can contact them afterwards. And if they actually want to take action and they actually want to book a meeting straight away from there, they can actually go to consultancy after do not qualify, and here we're going to have another link embedded. As you can see here, we're going to have another link embedded that is going to be basically the premium call that they can actually book straight away from there, and they can actually make the payment straight away from there. So as you can see, this is the whole overview of this lead generation chatbot, and as you can see, it has endless possibilities, from dynamic carousels, from Calendly embedded, from YouTube videos embedded. You can actually upload files to Voiceflow. You can do many different things. The possibilities are endless, literally. So that would be all for the video, and as I said, all the information with the custom API blocks, with the variables, with the JavaScripts, and basically everything that makes this lead generation chatbot different than the others is going to be in the description. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe because it actually helps a lot, and see you in the next one.